Tasing him is not going to help. He needs medical attention.
Okay, this is for my protection, though. He threw trash cans at me. This is for my protection. This is for self-defense. If he comes at me, I will. But I'm not advancing on him, okay?
He is a schizophrenic.
I got it. I'm trying to talk him down.
Okay, well, put your gun down.
No.
Or your taser.
If you don't back up, I'm going to arrest you.
Claims of excessive force are detailed in a new lawsuit filed against the Visalia Police Department. A woman says she called law enforcement for help with her son, who was going through a schizophrenic episode, and it ended with him being bitten by a police canine.
Welcome back to We the People University. My name is Abiyah Israel, former police officer and former sheriff's deputy. Today we're going to take a look at the Visalia Police Department located in the state of California. This is actually a video I've covered previously, and I've been keeping my eyes on it because I'm trying to see what happened with the follow-up, because this is one that, well, many of them bother me, but you know, there are some that really just, some more than others, although they're all horrible and they all need attention. But this is one that bothered me because it was one dealing with a mentally ill 21-year-old patient, and his mother, she called the police. And I know what many of you guys will say is, you never call the cops. Well, it's a lesson that she had to learn. And I'm sure at this point she has learned that lesson. She called the police because she had done so in times past, about 3 times, according to her, whenever her son would have a mental crisis or episode, that they would show up and they would, you know, escort him to the hospital. But this time was different. This time, the officer that showed up first on scene showed up with his taser drawn and ready to, quote unquote, defend himself. So I won't say too much now. Let's refresh if you guys have not seen this video, and those of you who have, we'll talk about it a little bit more here in a second. Let's check this out.
The attorney representing the Visalia mother and son says force by officers should only be used when it's warranted. In this case, he says it wasn't, and that they have the video evidence to prove it.
I felt hopeless because I couldn't do anything for him, but just stand there and watch him get bit by a dog.
Yahida Keys, surrounded by family and friends, explained why she filed an excessive force and civil rights lawsuit against the Visalia Police Department, the police chief, a lieutenant, and 3 officers. It was October 20th, 2020, when Keys says she called police to take her 21-year-old son, Jordan Gutierrez, to the hospital. She says she told the dispatcher he was unarmed and that he's been diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia and was having an episode. She says she had made 3 similar calls to police for help before this incident.
They would come out, they wouldn't even cuff him. They would get him in the police car, he'd get in, they'd escort him to the hospital.
But this time, she says the first officer arrived, taser in hand, claiming it was for his own protection. A second officer arrives, and Officer Keys says she recognized from one of her previous calls.
I'm the one that called you guys. I've dealt with you before.
Please get back, please.
A third officer then arrived with his K-9. According to the lawsuit, 2 officers held Gutierrez's arms behind his back as the K-9 officer commanded his dog to bite Gutierrez. Gutierrez was bit on his face and neck.
Now, working on the police department, one thing I know for a fact, and not one of you friendly cops who love to write me, email me constantly, not one of you can prove this wrong, but on each department, there's always a K-9 officer who is overzealous and who wants to get what they call a dog bite. He wants his dog to bite someone. It's a thrill to have your dog get a bite, because when it happens, they go back to the patrol room and it's like a celebration. Everybody wants to know what happened. They're talking about it like it's some big glorious thing. And I'm pretty sure now, although I haven't worked on every department, but the ones I have been in, this happens. And I'm pretty sure it happens at Visalia Police Department as well.
Tasing him is not going to help. He needs medical attention.
Okay, this is for my protection, though. He threw trash cans at me. This is for my protection. This is for self-defense. If he comes at me, I will. But I'm not advancing on him, okay?
He is a schizophrenic.
I got it. I'm trying to talk him down.
Okay, well, put your gun down.
No.
Or your taser.
If you don't back up, I'm going to arrest you. Back up. Back up. Go all the way back to that white car. Back up. Get back to that car.
Oh, no, I'm the one that called you guys. I've dealt with you before.
Please get back, please.
I know, we don't want to tase him right there, okay?
They better not take
No, they won't. They just needs to put his phone down and at least just.
His phone's not even, I don't even think his phone.
I don't even think his phone.
Oh, that is not necessary.
I don't even think his phone. If he's schizophrenic, I might send the same way.
Jordan, put the phone down.
If anything, they're just gonna take them and just, make sure everything's fine. If anything, they're just gonna take them and just, make sure everything's fine.
And here was the mistake. As you heard the young man say in the video, well, I'm pretty sure they're just going to, get him in the car and take him to the hospital, because this was the past experience. And again, I know you guys will say that never call the police. Well, I think in this particular situation, this lesson is now learned that even with training or, mental health crisis training, police officers have a goal, and that goal is to make an arrest, get ID, and boost numbers. And there was no reason for these officers to show up at this scene where someone's having a mental health emergency with tasers drawn, dogs coming out, K-9 dogs coming out, and there's 3 officers with 1 person. His mother had already told the dispatcher he's just having a breakdown right now. He is not armed. We just need to get him to the hospital. What in that call made you believe that you should show up with tasers drawn and K-9 dogs running out, biting everyone? Let's keep watching.
Take your phone out. Jordan, put your phone down, son. Oh my God. Just, no.
Did we not? Hey.
You guys just broke. No. No. This is not what I asked for.
Back up. I'm going to arrest you. I've told you numerous times.
The attorney representing Keys and Gutierrez claims the officers used excessive force and violated Gutierrez's civil rights.
It was unnecessary. It was unreasonable. For police officers to use that type of force, they need to be facing some type of violent threat. And there was none that day.
Gutierrez was arrested for resisting an officer. His criminal case is still ongoing. A Visalia Police Department spokesperson said they were unable to comment about the incident because the criminal case is ongoing and because of the new pending litigation. But in general, they said officers undergo 40 hours of crisis intervention training put on by Tulare County mental health partners.
You could have placed him. Why didn't you place him?
Don't tell me how to do my job. He wants to fight with police, he's going to get dogged in.
Don't you guys have any mental health training?
The spokesperson would not say if the officers named in the lawsuit had undergone the training, calling it a personnel matter.
So after calling the police for help for her son who's having a mental health emergency, she watched as police officers arrived, attacked her son, let a dog bite him, not only on his hip, but in his face. And as you guys can see, his face is full of blood. The dog bit him in his face. He sits in the back of the police car for a period of time while he's still bleeding before he ever receives any medical treatment. She never stepped in between the officers or her son. She never grabbed anyone. She never touched anyone. She was at a distance the entire time. But after filing a complaint against the officers, the complaint was thrown out of the window and the officers charged her with obstruction. What did she obstruct? Like, there is nowhere in this video that we can see her obstructing anything, but yet she was charged with obstruction. And the reason I'm resharing this video again, because I really believe like this video, although there has been a lawsuit filed, it hasn't reached its end at this point, not that I can find. And I'm hoping that this video can draw enough attention that it may help in the process of this lawsuit, because this is one of the this is one of the worst videos I've seen, and like my heart goes out to this young man who was bit in the face by a dog. I could not imagine how that would even, I couldn't imagine. Let's watch the rest of this video.
I hear it, but that was unnecessary. If that was, you let your dog bite his face.
Ma'am, I completely understand, and I want to make sure that he's going to go get the mental help, or that I can speak with the mental health staff.
Did they take him, or is he still in the car bleeding?
He's still in the
Can he go to the hospital? Is he going to have to sit in the car with the mouth full of blood?
What's his last name?
Gutierrez. That is not, he's bleeding. A dog just bit his face and he's in the car? Come on now. Jordan.
Keys filed a formal complaint with the department days after the bite, but her attorney says her complaint was dismissed and instead she was charged with obstructing officers at the scene. DeSimone says Keys completed community service for it.
This is the second lawsuit filed against the Visalia Police Department this year, alleging excessive force with a K-9 against an individual who was mentally ill. The attorney says he has submitted evidence in this case and the previous case to the state attorney general's office, asking for an investigation into the Visalia Police Department and their use of police K-9s. In the newsroom, Jessica Harrington, ABC 30 Action News.
So as you heard, this is not even the first mentally ill patient that has suffered at the hands of the Visalia Police Department. It's almost like it's the culture of the department to attack the mentally ill. Down below, pinned in the comment section, also in the description section, is the information of the police department. If you want to call them and tell them how great of a job they did. Also, their Facebook is down below, so you can share your thoughts. Please help me bring more light and attention to this video so that we can help in whatever way we can this family receive justice. Retraining is not enough. To be trained again is not enough. I believe that charges should be filed. And I'm believing from what I'm finding thus far, after this lawsuit is completed, then the attorney will be seeking to press charges. I'm not sure about that, but it's just some things that I've been reading. So hopefully that is the case, because I think justice needs to be had. And again, like I always say, this is what we're dealing with in America with the American police today. Always know your rights and always record the police. With that being said, We the People University signing off.